Hello, I'm Richard Raffan. I have here a pair of thread chasers which need handles, and in this video you'll see how I go about making those. So this is the kit for two handles, two blanks, just over 6 inches long, a couple of ferrules, obviously the pieces, the tools that are going into the handles. Now this shaped tang is going to need a stepped hole, so I've got that one which will fit the square at the bottom. That'll go in about probably another 10 millimeters, about 3/8 of an inch, and that will go into about 1 1/4 inches, about 30 millimeters. And I'm using a spur bit so that when I drill this hole first, then I can locate the center of the next drill easily, or the next drill will center easily going into the hole left by that spur. I've already punched a hole at each end using this little spring punch, and that just marks center, and so that can go onto the spike. This comes up here. There's one at the other end, similar hole. I wind this out so it's on the scale marked here. I'm working in millimeters and I'm going in 10 millimeters. So this will spin on the chuck at the moment. I start the lathe, hold the block and wind this in 10 mil. Change the drill over. Feel where that center is. Pull this and go in another 10 millimeters. And the third drill. Fill the step. So that is the drilling on the one done. So the drilled end goes into over the tailstock cone. There's a dot in the middle there where I marked center. I'll punch the little hole. So next job is to fit the ferrule. So get this round first. I'm using a 1-inch screw. This is pretty hard timber and it's very dry, and the teeth are not digging properly in at the other end. From the long point down, roughing down from the other end. See those little scoops. Mark the length of the ferrule. And I know that I need to go down just slightly larger than the top of the cone on the centre. That's not comfortable in there with the bigger tool like that. It's difficult to get in, so I'm using a 1/2 inch square end scraper, and got the caliper set for the internal diameter of the ferrule. And the jaws of this are rounded over so they don't catch. Clean up this face. There's a little burnish mark there. It's going to go on all right. Now the ferrule has a chamfered inside here, and that's the best one to put in up there because it's less inclined to raise the grain if it gets a bit, as it gets a bit tighter. So this end, the ferrule end, now goes into the chuck jaws, not the whole way in, just going to grip about 1/3 of it, lightly at first so I can get the tail center centered up. Tighten up the chuck, tighten up the tail center, and shape the handle to what you like. I'm going to keep the mark which the centre has made because it might be useful to get this back on the lathe at some stage. I'll just make it a bit decorative with a few marks. And just see how that feels. Just take that little bit of a lump away, take that down a fraction. 240 grits. Do not wrap the cloth round your fingers, otherwise it might get caught in the lathe and you don't want to be attached to the other end. Right, another handle, well, the tool goes into that. And so this now goes into there, and counterintuitively you hit the back of the tool to get it started there. Number one and number two. Good. And there we are, finished. Pair of thread chasers. Handle's not exactly the same. I didn't make much effort in that direction. I don't mind if my handles are slightly different. And all done with a skew chisel, 1 inch skew, and the 1/2 inch square end scraper.